Alrighty guys, what's going on? Good to have you guys on, good to have you guys in. Alright, edit video. Cool. There's that. Hope you guys had a great trading day out there. Subscribe to the channel. Click the icon like for making the videos. I'd really appreciate that, guys. Helps the channel out a ton. Alright. Save that. Go to change documents. Cool. There's that. Today's 5/20. What's today's date? The 10th. Alright guys, just getting everything set up. Hopefully you guys had a great trading out there. Hopefully you guys have been trading well. As always, hope that you guys have been studying really hard. Alright, so I'm live going over today's trading day up 9.8K. Cool, there's that. Alright, copy. Oh shoot, sorry. Posted wrong row. Alrighty guys. Hopefully you guys have been trading well. Hopefully you guys have been trading efficiently and studying, making sure you're preparing yourself for every day. In this industry, knowledge is power. All right, so let me go like this, go like that. I'm live. All right. Then we had, what do we have today? AREB, IRNT, BKKT, Affirm, and we can do DCFC. Alright, go like this. Did I not post that there? Alrighty guys, we're going to do a quick stream today. There's that. Cool. Alright. Hope you guys have been trading well out there. Live on TikTok now. Alright, cool. Hopefully you guys subscribe to the channel. Click the icon below for making new videos. I'd really appreciate that, guys. What's going on, Mauricio? What's going on, Steve? What's going on, Eldrian, Abi, Coffee Kid? What's up? Alright, guys. MK, VY, Kyle. What's going on, guys? All right, we'll give it about 20 more seconds to people for trickle on in here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Mauricio, good to see you back, man. Hopefully you're enjoying life and taking a couple months off at least. Hopefully you're back and healthy. Appreciate that, Kyle. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started today in about 10 more seconds or so. Today was kind of a slower day. IRNT was my number one watch out of the gates. Ended up long in IRNT, actually right down in here, 425, 426, where that white line is, and then sold it at, where was it? 456. So right in here is where I sold it. DCFC took a little loser, and then ARB was my big winner. Luckily I got out of it. So, you know, a lot of the times when I'm trading stocks, guys, when it comes to small caps, you know, I see this huge leg up in the morning in the first 10 minutes. And when I usually see this lately, it's been kind of a lately it's been kind of something that goes up and then has this big flag, right? And it's straight up within the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then consolidates. And, lately it's just been failing. But I thought since DCFC has shown us momentum in the last couple days, you can see the big run it had, right? That we start to get some FOMO. And if you look on the ticker symbol IRNT, you can see on the yearly here, where was it, the max? It had a different chart. What the heck? Or was it IRNT? Wait, no. No, sorry. AERB. So you can see here on AERB, right, on the yearly, that we had kind of a consolidation and a 52-week high breakout similar to, what was it, DCFC, right? So it's kind of looking for that and, seeing that kind of rip up like that, I thought, you know what, since we're in such a hot market, or not a hot market, sorry, we're in a warm market that has certain sectors ripping and running. And this kind of fell in that criteria, especially seeing that amount of volume come out of the gates like that. That's a lot of volume. I mean, that was really impressive. I thought, take some dips and watch this thing at least break to the high day, maybe over $4, $4.20. So I ended up, you can see here where I was getting long, like right in here and right in here. And where was it? Cool. So, and then, I had a chance to sell some off right up here and had a reject. And look at all these wicks. Reject, wick, reject, wick. But I actually liked the way, how much volume and how quickly the tape was churning. And with the volume going that quickly and the tape was churning, and I liked the way it could skip. I could see it, in here. Nice recovery from 330 straight up to 364. I like to see that quick recovery and rip up with that much volume. That alone was a solid sign. But I didn't like the wicks. But I like the way the tape was skipping, it was able to push up 4, 5, 6 cents a share, very, very quickly. And so then, we had the VWAP hold. I was worried that this thing was going to flush right here. We had a nice break over 360, and I said, you know what? I have way too big of a position size here. If this goes, and I really thought it was going to break above 380s, but I wanted to take all risk off the table because of how big a position size that I had. I really did like the way the tape was churning and the way that it was, really skipping quickly on a ton of volume. But the only thing I didn't like was the downtrend and also the wicks being formed up. So there's a couple of controversial concepts, but 52-week high breakouts have been happening a lot. Like the way, but the only thing against it as well was that it moved up. So there was things for and against this kind of play. But overall, I was kind of like 55-45 at that point. I kept convincing myself, okay, this was good, and okay, this was bad. And I said, you know what, we're above 360s, I'm going to take it off. And I actually had 12,000 shares. Luckily, I took it off at 360. I was going to give 12,000 shares a chance to re-break high day, but I wanted it to kind of reset back up. And this thing just dumped. Luckily, I got out. But then, there was multiple chances of scalp plays on this play here. We had a nice bounce from $3 up to 330s almost. And then we had another 283 up to 330. So there were some solid little scalp plays long and short. But, with that much size, I had to come back. And I nailed it for $6,800. And then a couple other trades I took today was BKKT short. I ended up shorting this one with an 8-10 average right up in here. Tiny, tiny size. We've been in a slower market. It's day 4 green day. And we had a nice sell-off and then a retest at 8, and then here comes a real sell-off right down in here, right down in here. And that's where I started covering at 766 average right in here. Got paid out quickly, and then this thing actually ends up going all the way down to 710 was the lowest. But you can see, it's still chopping around. It's still short squeezing people out. The longs are getting trapped, right? So it wasn't easy. But yeah, and then NVCT, I held all day. This one, I ended up getting a nice position down in here. It was like one of my top 3 watches. I wanted to take any kind of sell-off that I could, and I saw this thing right out of the gate selling off. I was a hair late on it, but I ended up getting a 589 average, and then I ended up, once this thing perked up, and then reperked here, or where was it? It reperked up in here. I ended up taking a couple of shares right down in here on the limits ask. And then it kind of just looked ugly, so I ended up stopping out, I believe, right there. And then this thing closed weak, so $1,300 to end the day. $10,000 day, nothing crazy. Overall, guys, the options account that I have going, I do have an options account going. It's a $5,000 options account I started with. We're up to $10,600 in the options account. My big play of the day was buying some calls right here. I ended up buying calls. Actually, it was like $3. Or I can pull it up. I have it. I have all the options right here. All right. So you can see here. I ended up starting to buy some option calls when the stock was about $55 a share right here. And then, $53 a share, $51 a share, and then it went down to $50, and the low on the options contracts was $1.10. I started to take little pieces at a time, wasn't getting too heavy, just taking small little positions, letting the trade work out. Well, I had a 218 average, I believe. This thing rips up to over $7 a share, and I'm selling at 365, 390, 395, and 420. That's my options. We got the 5K to now 10.6K on the options account. It's awesome to see that account starting to grow pretty nicely. It's only been 6 or 7 days, so we're growing that. One thing that I want to explain to you guys is I've changed a lot over my recent trading. I truly have accepted that, we're not in the GameStop days where I can make $500,000, $1 million a day. There's still opportunities out there in the options world, and, I'm not saying there isn't. DWAC is another one that, you can make some good money on. But I like to see range and volatility. And obviously, a firm was one of those things, right? I could have taken shares on this too, but, with such a smaller account, I didn't find it, attractive. And I was focusing on the options at that time. But what I want to say is, that I've really started to think through a lot of my positions more lately. Over the past 7 months, I got sloppy. I was a trader that, made a lot of money in the first 3 months. We'll put it that way. And in the last 9 months, it was kind of just break even, a bunch of BS type trading, not thinking about things, not thinking things through thoroughly, not putting myself in a position where I'm sized in accordingly. Now, I'm getting back to kind of thinking again, right? Thinking my way through a position, thinking my way through, what's right and what's wrong and why is that. Before it was kind of like, I know the setups, take the setups, don't take the setups. No, now it's like, okay, a firm fell this far, 83 down to 50. I was like, I haven't seen too many large caps fall that quickly intraday. Even if it is earnings, I know we're in a more volatile earnings session with Snapchat flying and Amazon flying, right? And PayPal and Facebook dumping. I know there's a lot of range on earnings positions, and it's something that I have to keep in mind. But we fell, 40% from the highs, roughly, right? 83 down to 50. Right? So, I knew that there was going to be a solid opportunity to see this thing bounce. And I was just trying to take advantage of it. This thing ends up going to $65 a share. I swear that the options went to like $8 from $1.10. I mean, that's a 600-700% winner on an option contract. That was fairly liquid on the call side. So, but you can also play shares too. When I get a $5-10 million account, sure, I might play some shares there. Doesn't even need to be that big, but thinking things through has helped me a lot more, as well as being okay with a $5, a $10, a $15 to $20,000 day. Getting myself back into that position where just trading smaller, right? No reason to take huge amount of size because then you get more emotional and things like that. Just letting 20 to 30% of my account do the work. That's what I do well with options account. I'm only getting in with 20 to 30%. If I stop out, I stop out small. If it works out, it works out big, right? So, Snapchat, I ended up being up 400%. I was up another 80%. All my winners and options, I swear, it's like anywhere from 50 to 70%. All right, let's go 40 to 70%. Okay, so, I know that what I do works. I just have to take smaller size and then grow it accordingly. As time goes on, you can compound your accounts and be in the proper positions and be in the right stocks on the long and short side and be okay with stopping out here. But just taking the overall arcing knowledge that I have, putting it into the markets, using 20 to 30% of my account. And then when I'm really, 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 really convicted, you might see me go all in. But that's like 3 or 4 times a year I should be doing, max. Unless we're in some crazy market where I do it 6 or 7 times a year. But, I know that I can compound on smaller amounts like that. But the thing is, when I get to the account about 30 to 50 to 100% of my account, a lot, and the market's slow. What's going on, Brittany? It's good to have you on. Hopefully the course is treating you well. And hopefully you're, I always see you on. So I just wanted to make sure, maybe DM me. Let me know how your trading's going. I appreciate people who are being loyal and try really hard to, better themselves in every part of their life. And Brittany, you've been on so much that I just wanted to have you DM me and let me know how things are going, how the course is working. Just give me an update on how things are going, because I do appreciate, people's feedback from, everything that they're, learning from me and how they're doing as a trader, and maybe just, even just things, just trying to better your life. Everybody's trying to make every day better than yesterday, I hope. So, but yeah, I just wanted to say that quick. But yeah, so anyways, guys, that's kind of just the way it is. I know what I do can work. I know what I do does work. It just is a matter of, sizing accordingly, taking proper position sizing, long and short, building a proper thesis throughout the trading day, and going from there. I've been doing this 4.5 years now. And yeah, I can't believe, I'm 27 years old, and I just love what I do. The reality is I've already made a decision in my life, at least for right now in this part, where I love what I do, and the thing is, sure, maybe I could retire. Great. Well, that's great. I'm very blessed and fortunate to be able to say that, but at the same time, I just love what I do so much that, I try and keep you guys going. I try and keep you guys inspired and motivated. I try and keep giving you guys YouTube content and having the opportunity to learn from someone who's been through hard times, who's lost $1 million in one day, who's also made $1 million in one day, and so on and so forth. I'm always transparent and honest with you guys, and I want you guys to stay inspired and motivated. And I know there's a lot of fake people out there, and I don't usually say this a lot, but I just saw some other guy send money, and I'm like, I don't ask for money. I don't want you to send me Bitcoin. I don't want you to send me PayPal, or well, if you want my course, that's great. You can, but use my website. Don't go on I'm not going to ask for money. I'm not going to be on Instagram DMing people. I don't have time for any of that, guys. I don't have time to just sit here, and message everyone, hey, crypto, hey, this is, that's just not my life. My life is the stock market. My life is learning how to create opportunities throughout the market in itself. And then I try and teach you guys the strategies that I use that have worked for me over the years. But over these past 9 months, I'll be honest, it's been a very big struggle for me. It's been just mentally grinding. And I could say comfortably that over the past month or so, month and a half, I've really started to get back into where I should be at mentally, which is taking small winners, waiting for big runners, just things like a firm, right? I would probably try and be long in this and shorting this, and I lose big oversizing, right? Let it play out, take small size, and when I take smaller size, I can take small, okay, I'm long, let the pieces kind of work out. Then when it starts to really get into your criteria, 95% conviction rate, let's say, then sure, go maybe 50 to 60%. And I always start small. Take a small account and grow it into a big account. Don't take a big account and try and grow it into a bigger account, especially when you're starting off. Use the house's money. I call the market the house's money, right? Use the house's money. Start with $5, $100, something small. This is me talking to myself here. Back in the day, I wish that I would have started with smaller amounts. I blew up half my net worth, and that would have ended me as a trader, and I never would have been in my shoes today. And sometimes, when I think about that, I'm like, damn, that could have really ended my career in trading, and it very well could have. I told everybody I was going to quit, and I just, I told myself I was going to quit, but internally, I still had that fire, that drive, because I kept seeing stocks go up and down 100% intraday, and I'm like, why can't I just study hard enough to put myself in somebody's shoes where I can get in here and get out here, right? It's right in front of you. I see the chart, but I just can't get myself in a position where I have built conviction on getting myself comfortably into that position and knowing that it'll work. If you're getting yourself into a position that you're just trying to hope and pray, you're going to be, sweating out of your armpits. You're going to be, always constantly worrying about your position, and you're not going to trade it properly every time, right? But in the end, you have to have proper conviction that when you're studying time and time again, that conviction really means something with statistics, with data. And you don't have to be the guy that uses Excel sheets left and right, and you're some data analyst, and you're trying to just do everything, just right. You're trying to think of so many numbers, right? You don't have to be that. I'm an example of that, Jordan, he's got a bunch of spreadsheets, and I'll be honest, when I started, I was doing some spreadsheets, but I don't have these massive Excel sheets, right? It's all up here. It's all remembering, okay, what works in these situations. When the market's hot, what works in these situations. How much is a stock down? How much is a stock up? what sector's running. Right now it's banks, it's energy, right? But you have to always be on your toes in the markets, okay? Who could have predicted, SPY to move like this, straight down from the news? No one could have predicted that, right? The Fed's going to say, yeah, well, in the middle of the day, well, yeah, we're most likely going to raise rates. And they said that in the morning, and then it rips, and they said that in the afternoon, and then it tanks. So there's no predicting anything, guys. You have to always be knowing that you're going to always have risk on the table. But when you have risk on the table, you have to have conviction that knows, okay, how big a position size am I in? Am I in 70%? Well, that means generally that you've studied your ass off into whatever position that you're in, and that means that you have really high conviction in whatever you're doing, and that high conviction will say, okay, now I'm in this much size because I've seen this play out so many times before, right? But if you're in 70% of your account, 60% of your account, whatever, and you're sitting here, well, maybe it'll go up, maybe it'll go down, and you're long a firm at $72 a share in some calls, well, you're going to watch those calls go from, $4 down to, let's say, 20 cents. And you're going to be holding a bag, and then you're like, okay, now I'm guessing. And the one time that maybe you didn't study hard enough, you're down massively. But in my opinion, there's no play until you get under 60. Because of all the studying and research that I've done, I know, intraday stocks that if it's going to bounce, sure, it'll bounce decently. But generally, if it went down to the 40s, it'll have even bigger of a rubber band. And 30s, even bigger rubber band. And if it gets down to 25, that's probably the farthest I've ever seen when I've done all research, all studying. If it goes from 83 down to 25... kind of reminds me of one of my biggest losers back in the day, STMP. Are they still going to... No, they're not. What? Come on now. They got bought out, didn't they? Well, the famous STMP trade. I think it was like $200, and it gapped down to 80 or 70. And this was a large cap. And I'm sitting here, and I've never seen this company move like this in its entire existence. And I'm like, all right, 130, long. 120, long some more. 110, I'm pretty much all in. Watched it go underneath 90. Luckily I stopped out at 100, and at that point, hands off. I'm not looking at anything. This is following no criteria. My conviction is gone because I've never seen anything like this. I just got stopped out 3 or 4 or 5 different times with a big amount of size. It was a big losing day for me. Then the next morning, I think it took a wick down to like 77 or 76. And then makes a strong move back up to like 90 with maybe I think it was 95 or 100 with a ton of liquidity. And I played, the long side of it, not with a massive amount of size because again, I hadn't seen really anything like that. So my conviction, the amount of range was massive, the amount of conviction was lower. So you always have to weigh those things out. And I'm going to stop my spiel there. I forgot that I got some things I got to do. I still got to work out. I got a meeting today. The final revisions for the vacation home is being done today, so I'm really, really, really excited. I didn't realize it was already 2:40. That's me ranting. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys for subscribing to the NorMagnoTrading.com community. If you guys are interested in learning, I have a free chat room. There's plenty of opportunity to learn for free here. Don't think that I'm just going to throw a bunch of charge things at you. I don't have, I have a ton of free content out there for you guys to learn from. And I appreciate you guys subscribing to the NorMagnoTrading.com community. I will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers to you.